And everybody can have their own opinion about which crypto is the greatest. Mine is better than yours. And I don't care. My favorite crypto is the one that is making me money at that time. And what we've noticed is that HBAR and algo, just like QNT, from the all-time high to that low, dropped about 90% as well, but yet to really awaken. What's up, guys? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. This is an absolute must-see video if you are holding any laggards like HBAR. Welcome to the channel, guys. We're going to go through a variety of altcoin charts in today's video, including HBAR, XRP, Casper, Algorand, and QNT. Once again, nothing I share is financial advice. I'm simply comparing assets, looking at their retracements, and trying to find the laggards in this market. So first up, we have Dogecoin. As we know, from the previous all-time high, we have crashed, let's just say, about 93%. Now, from its all-time low thus far, exploding today, we can see from that low of June, we've gone up approximately 188%. Now remember that QNT from that same June low actually went up about 460%. Bottom line is, if I see any of my alts that I hold up to these levels, I'm going to be staggering myself out for my trading bag and going into the next one. So for example, if HBAR happens to follow Dogecoin in any way and even rhyme with the chart, and we start moving all the way up and do a similar type of move, I will be staggering sells out. And then after that, I'm going to be taking those profits and going into the next one. Now, XRP, Casper, HBAR, and Algo are some of my largest holdings today, so I have a long-term bag that I will just set and forget, some of which is staking as well. I'm only talking about my trading portfolio, which is only about 25% of my overall bag size. Okay, so please watch all of this video, and for anybody new to the channel, we're going to give you the cliff notes of what we've been discussing for the past several months. So looking at QNT, notice that we did drop about 90% from the all-time high down. 90%, and then a beautiful 400+% retracement, almost 500, it's like 450, 460. And what we've noticed is that HBAR and Algo, just like QNT, from the all-time high to that low, dropped about 90% as well, but yet to really awaken. Now we're going to draw a Fibonacci retracement for all of these alts, and I want to show you some very interesting comparisons using the March-April high before capitulation to the June low. Fibonacci retracement wick to wick, as you can see, swing high, swing low. Let's do the same thing for HEDERA. So as we can see, we're looking for that March-April high before capitulation, right there. March 29th, almost April 1st. So for the QNT price chart, we absolutely exploded to the 1618, but notice during that first impulse, we actually came back to this previous wick, which coincidentally is dead on the 382 Fibonacci retracement. Scrolling over for the HBAR price chart, do we have any wicks around that same region that could be tested? Yes, we do, right there. All the way across, right around 13 cents. Let's also draw a horizontal ray, just so you can see that clearly. Right there, and we'll try to get as clean as possible. And as you can see, we are dead on that 382 Fibonacci retracement. Very interesting. Now QNT reached the 1618. For HEDERA, that would be 40 cents. Let's cross that bridge when we get to it. We do have some resistance at these next levels that I'd be looking at about 8.5 cents, as well as that next 236, and then the 382 up there. Now let's compare XRP to HBAR. So as we've been saying for months, I believe that XRP could in fact be following QNT in its own way. March-April high to the low, where did we go? We have reached the 382. Are there any other wicks that were backtested? Yes, right there, but then also right there at that double bottom. So pretty interesting that XRP also had this explosion, but notice, looking at HBAR, even Algo, they haven't done anything yet, but the fractal at the bottom looks extremely similar, does it not? Okay, what about the Casper price chart? Let's plot some horizontal rays, and we've been talking about this for months. As we can see, we in fact hit that. We can also see this next zone where XRP also coincidentally hit to the very wick. Pretty interesting. We'll just fix that, as you can see, right on that wick. Now, let's plot the Fibonacci as well and compare that March-April high. Are there any other confluences? Wick to wick. Are we close to that 382 Fibonacci retracement? I would say so. I mean, either you hit it dead on or we are just like a millimeter away, as you can see. So, we have another altcoin that came and hit these previous wicks there and there, up to the 382. So we have QNT, XRP, and Casper that have done this thus far. Now I have a couple other dozen that have gone higher to the 50%, some crash afterwards, some even make it to the 702 like Uniswap, even higher like Ethereum Classic. So bottom line is I'm looking for leaders in this market so that I can attack laggards that are fundamentally strong like HBAR. And once again, guys, HBAR is legitimate. You can look at their governing council. They just had Aberdeen join. They have $500 billion US under management as well. We have FIS, Google, IBM, DBS, one of the largest banks in Singapore, Boeing, LG is actually building a wallet for HBAR. We have Deutsche Telekom and their subsidiaries, T-Mobile. You have Nomura, just massive groups, even Tata. Like, some of these businesses are some of the largest in the world that very few have actually heard of. You have Shinhan Bank, a Korean bank that actually did a proof of concept with HASHGRAPH for central bank digital currencies. Ubisoft is one of the biggest gaming companies, you get it. And DLA Piper with Toko and tokenization services for real estate and all types of things on HashGraph. Now, DLA Piper is also a Casper partner. Let's go back to our buddy Dogecoin. Not that I'm a fan by any means, but I just want to show a few other things. And I mean, we're getting that huge pop. Now let's look for that March-April high before capitulation. Okay, so it's right there around April 3rd. So let's use that. Wick to wick, and I haven't done this yet, so we're just looking at this live. And you can see in this case, we made it up to the 702 Fibonacci retracement. We can see some previous wicks, like we made it through this level of resistance. That's equivalent to about 8.5 cents for HBAR. You can see that next level, that's at the 50% retracement. For HBAR, that would be a little higher. I mean, we have about 8.5 cents, 10.5 cents, and then about 13.6 cents. So looking at Doge and HBAR side by side, remember, Doge went from under 6 cents all the way up to 14 cents. HBAR was under 6 cents, right now at 6 even. Could it potentially do that same move up to the 382 around that 13 cent level that we mapped out, that Casper and XRP already hit? Now, also sizing this up, let's just draw a quick retracement on this cup and handle pattern for Doge from the high to the low, and we can see perfectly, so I'm doing this live by the way, the 2618 Fibonacci extension. Let's compare that to HBAR. So doing the top of this little cup and handle formation, potentially, if we come up, it could be a cup and handle setup, which is absolutely bullish. Now looking at the 2618, what do we have? Ooh, we have 13 cents. Beautiful. You can see that that would also align with that wick right there. I know that wick is small, but hopefully you can see it right there at about 13 cents. Okay, so Doge hit the 2618 Fibonacci extension right here, and my bad if I called it a retracement earlier. Let's check out Casper as well with that same cup and handle pattern. So Casper did this a while back. As you can see from that high to the low, Casper only made it to the 2, not the 2618 just yet. But you can see the beauty of Casper because we had that wick all the way back there, and we tagged it to absolute perfection. And let's see how our buddy XRP did. So same cup and handle setup as it got that momentum, and it'll go high to the low. And yeah, not quite to the 2618, but it actually did go higher than what Casper did. So I'm definitely interested in this setup. I know everybody is extremely bearish. I get it. It's complicated, but under this 236 is where we absolutely ripped. And we can see that HBAR is actually under the 236, even wicking to it previously and coming right back down. Now, my only concern is also, see this 4.7? We do have a wick down here that was yet to be filled. So that's right at about 4.6 cents. And if we hit that, I'm going to be buying a lot of HBAR. And full disclosure, I have been buying HBAR at these levels as well for months at this point. Now, another thing I want to go over, watching HBAR. Remember, I posted this a while back. This was on October 4th, talking about Casper before hitting the 200-day MA. This was when Casper was at 3 cents even. Now, as we can see, XRP hit that. That was a leader for me. And Casper, of course, I have a big position in that, and boom, we finally reached that level. Now, pointing this out, we can see Casper hit the 200-day MA, this red line. XRP hit the 200-day MA, this red line. Whereas HBAR and Algo have yet to do so. Algorand almost got it. It didn't quite get that push. And remember that November 20th is the FIFA World Cup, and Algorand is the chosen blockchain sponsor. And I'm personally shocked that Algorand is still under 40 cents. So now looking at HBAR as well, this 200-day MA, the last time we tagged it was all the way back in January. So it has been about 10 months since the last time we tagged it. Even during bullish cycles, it'll eventually come right back. So I'm personally watching this 200-day MA. As you can see, it is actually crossing that level, which is that exact swing high that we were using for a potential cup and handle setup. Very interesting. So yeah, I personally believe that HBAR will in fact hit this. I'm hoping we don't dump and then it just hits it there, because that would kind of suck, but I'm bullish on HBAR. And once again, do not buy an altcoin when emotions are at all-time high, when it's already trending. QNT, I'm not attacking. I was buying at $3 to $5. I would much rather buy QNT when the weekly RSI was down here. Unfortunately, I was going heavier in other alts like Casper at those levels, and I'm still happy, but QNT did have a much higher rate of return. Notice that HBAR on the weekly RSI is still at that level. I don't understand why people would want to buy something when it's, pushing overbought like there right before a crash, or even piercing, and it can come back down. And if it comes back down, it does not mean QNT is a bad asset. It just means that prices fluctuate. And I'd much rather place my bets going after something like HBAR on the weekly time frame, and in the future months, this could be a very nice retracement. And there are exceptions to everything, as we've shared in previous videos, and big props to everybody that actually watches to the end, because that's when I'm sharing most of the alpha for the chart specifically, in the previous one where we talked about waves and ZIL. Now, a lot of people in this market are incredibly bearish. We have Henrik here still sticking to his guns, believing that the total crypto market cap is about to explode. He thinks that we could hit a $3.6 trillion market cap. Now, let me show you something really quick. Looking at the total crypto market cap, we're showing the swing high around 3 trillion, the all-time high to that June low. Look, the 127 Fibonacci extension for a potential blow off top would be 3.60 trillion. Looking at the weekly RSI, we are still nice and low, which is good to see. And I was joking around with Henrik because he's calling a blow off top on Dogecoin. And if this happens, I'll be impressed. I am not touching Doge. I don't care if it does a 10x. I'm not risking it. I've never been a fan, never will. Sorry if you hold it. I wish you well. So he's calling himself the Doge father. And I'll give him full credit. If Doge creates an all-time high price, he'll officially be the supreme leader of the Doge army in my book. So I'm just watching Doge as a potential leader for other alts. I'm not buying Doge. I have to put these disclaimers because I shared and retweeted an Aptos tweet, another crypto that I've already shared on Twitter, and said, I'm not touching this. And somebody said I'm shilling it, but I was actually mocking it. I'm not touching some of these projects, guys. So Henrik is showing the Dogecoin price chart on the weekly. I'm not buying Doge, but if it does this, I'm going to be very excited for other altcoins. You can see Stock Money sharing this, the Bitcoin price chart on the 3-day, and we can see a 786 Fibonacci retracement at all of these bottoms during the previous cycle. Very interesting. And I know there's a lot of different market opinions out there, and just remember that in March 2020, the bottom, it didn't feel like a bottom. So bottoms do not feel like bottoms, and tops do not feel like tops. At the bottoms, there are always people that expect us to go lower. At tops, there are always those of us that expect it to go higher. So Henrik is sharing this scenario for a lot of stocks, thinking we have a blow off top and then we have a huge crash. That is something I would be watching. Notice this is at the 1618. Interesting that QNT actually hit the 1618 to perfection using the March-April high. Now looking at HBAR, I love the position of this RSI, guys. This is an asset that is still down about 90%. I feel comfortable going after this. QNT actually did pierce this a while back, and it already did almost a 500% increase from those lows. Now there's always exceptions. When we pierce, could we go on a huge bull run and just create another high? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm looking at ROI in a variety of assets. So there are exceptions. We could go higher, but I'm just much more interested in buying something that would be down here, okay? And big thank you to Mr. Level Up for putting the Zilliqa and Waves Fractal on my radar a while back. Now this move actually happened back in March, and during June when QNT was at these lows, he was bullish. I didn't believe him, and guess what? He was right. So Zilliqa did a 7x return, followed by an 80 to 90% crash, almost like that same thing that Henrik was sharing. And notice, when the RSI was low, yeah, it was a good buy, but then it actually pierced and was overbought. I would not want to buy that because that's equivalent to buying it here before a big crash. So that is a chance you're taking. Now there are exceptions. Could we just pierce and just keep going and the momentum is high and we can just rock it? Absolutely. But I'm placing my bets in something like HBAR that is here. Could we slip down and close that wick? Yep. But overall, being down 90% or more, I'm comfortable going after HBAR per the price chart and the things they're working on in the future. And once again, we have waves from the high to the low, doing that same exact move. From that low, RSI was low, exploded, an 8x return, followed by over a 90% crash, coincidentally hitting the 1618 Fibonacci extension. And notice the same thing as ZIL right there. It pierced, overbought, and crashed. So me, I'm sticking to my guns and I'm buying something that is here, a lot lower. Hopefully you guys love my coloring skills. And then of course, comparing QNT's weekly RSI to Waves and ZIL, remember they did in fact top out. Now I would hope for QNT to keep running. Do I believe that QNT can hit 4 digits and beyond in the future? Absolutely. But what is the ROI from today's entry price? Can I find a bigger return elsewhere? Maybe. And I know some people say, okay, Kevin, what about utility? The tokenomics, the circulating supply of QNT is so minuscule. If it does get the adoption that is possible, this thing could do another 100x. And you're absolutely right. I don't have all the answers. I'm just looking at a charting perspective where I am much more comfortable going after maybe HBAR and Algo right here rather than chasing something that already did almost a 500% or over a 5x return over the past couple months. And I do believe QNT creates a new all-time high price in the future, and if we come back down to any levels, it does not mean it is a bad asset. This is the crypto market. And a lot of people that complain about the market, they're the ones that bought the top. It's crypto Twitter. It's a lot of the retail investor mindset, just like Ethereum. When it did a double bottom under $100, even March 2020, everybody said, oh, Ethereum's garbage, it's going to zero. Then it went almost to $5,000. Meaning from that low in March 2020, Ethereum did over a 50x return. Suddenly the haters were quiet. And now we have the same thing again. Just like in every bear market, Ethereum crashes, oh, it's garbage, it's trash, time and time again. And everybody can have their own opinion about which crypto is the greatest. Mine is better than yours. And I don't care. My favorite crypto is the one that is making me money at that time. Next up, we have iTrustCapital linked in the top of the YouTube video description. This is a crypto IRA platform that I've personally been using since January of 2020. I was with a competitor before that back in 2019, and I switched over to iTrustCapital and I couldn't be happier. As you can see, it is completely free. There is no monthly fee. There's no maintenance fee. It's just like Coinbase for tax-free trading with a Roth IRA where I pay 0% in capital gains. There's just a 1% transaction fee for trading, but no other fees, no hidden fees. You have precious metals along with dozens of crypto assets, as we can see this list right here, all the way down. And I've gotten confirmation that there will be a few other assets added to this platform shortly that we regularly talk about, hint hint. And for those that don't know, iTrustCapital is a unicorn valued at $1.3 billion. So yes, you could say they're legitimate and I feel safe custodying my assets there. And all of my assets are secured in cold storage. You have Polkadot Staking as well, one of the first platforms to offer staking in an individual retirement account. You can go through their FAQ, the website's super clean and should answer any questions or concerns. They have over 2,000 5-star reviews. I would recommend reading them and seeing any complaints and deciding if this is a good fit. You can use my link in the video description. You do not have to, but if you do use my link, you also get a $100 funding reward when you create your free account. There's been almost 200,000 accounts created and over $6 billion in transactions. Insane. And they're directly connected to Coinbase Custody and Fireblocks. And as you know, Fireblocks is one of the biggest in the game. Remember that they actually added integrations with HBAR back in 2020. Now HBAR is also available on Coinbase. Could we see HBAR listed on iTrustCapital in the near future? So when I quit my job in cybersecurity, I actually liquidated my full 401k. I was kind of like, I'm not really interested in the stock market pushing all-time high prices, and I was much more interested getting some exposure in the crypto market. I also did roll my old IRA that was just with Vanguard and really just an S&P 500 index. And I did that during the previous bear market, so I'm very happy with those returns, specifically because it is taxed at 0%, instead of 15% or even like 37% for short-term capital gains. So this is just another weapon in my arsenal, a tool that I use and I love. And this is something I've had a lot of family and friends use and actually join as well, and they're using it to this day. And you have to think about what's best for you. You know, are you 20 years old and you want to start a nest egg and just do some contributions? Could be smart, especially in a nascent asset class like crypto. And you don't have to go all in crypto. I have a portion of my portfolio sitting in US dollar. I could do 50% US dollar, or during the bull run, I can sell into US dollar, sit in US dollar in my retirement account on iTrustCapital, which is also a mobile application, and then wait for a crash and set limit orders 24/7, 365. I can do it all on my own on my phone instantly. I can swing trade, I can set and forget, I can dollar cost average, whatever I'm comfortable with. And you also have to think strategically. If you had a Roth IRA and you're in your 50s, there's definitely some smart moves you could make to still reap the rewards of 0% taxes. So that's another option if you wanted to learn more about a Roth IRA. You also can do traditional IRAs. Or if you have a corporation or you want to start another type of account or roll over into a TSP, a 403B, a 457, and more. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate hitting the like button and subscribing. Let me know your thoughts down below. And as always, my link tree is linked right in the top of this YouTube video description with all links, crypto resources, and discounts. I'll catch you in the next one.